Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. Most of you know that I'm attracted to things that have achieved enduring status as a classic. It could be in anything: design, music, art. There's something about things from the past that endure to this day and still resonate with people today that make me take notice. And I can't think of anything in music that would reflect this more than the Ella Fitzgerald songbooks. An ambitious project, one of the most important in the history of recorded music, really. Documenting the composers who created what is now known as the Great American Songbook. Cole Porter, George and Ira Gershwin, Irving Berlin, Rodgers and Hart, and others. This was the vision of Norman Granz, and this was the first Verve release. And imagine how audacious this was. I mean, 2 record sets were not a common thing in that day. And to have one devoted entirely to one composer was unusual too. Naturally, to pull this off, they needed the right interpreter. And Ella Fitzgerald was absolutely the right choice. You know that immediately when you start listening to this. As I listened to this, the first thing that I was drawn to was, well, the cover. Actually, let's look at this cover. I have seen this cover many times, but it never looked as beautiful as this. This is so striking. The mid-century design, the muted colors, the glossy finish, the substantial feel of it. You feel like you're holding history in your hands. And you really are. You can tell this is executed beautifully right from the moment you pick up the jacket. As I listened to this, the first thing that struck me is, oh my God, Cole Porter is a genius. Of course, I knew some of these songs. You're the Top, Too Darn Hot, things like this. They're famous songs, but I knew them in isolation. The beauty of this project is you get to hear all of his work in one setting. And most of it's from Broadway. There's a few things from motion pictures as well. But what you come away with is a portrait of Cole Porter. And this is the most interesting thing to me. I used to think of him in an abstract way, but hearing all the lyrics as interpreted by Ella, you hear the wit, you hear how clever he is, how he can put a sly twist in, a turn of phrase. It's urbane, it's sophisticated, it's very Cole Porter. And when you hear it all together, you're like, oh my God, this is so clever. Sometimes you might think it would be overtly funny. And it is funny sometimes. I mean, I found myself laughing a few times, but it's not because it's broad humor. It's just little twists of things that make you like laugh, or situations. Oftentimes, he uses a device that's like I used to call it a prologue, but it's a little introduction, a couple of lines to set the scene. And it's sometimes in these lines that you realize how funny it is and how theatrical it is. So Ella will sing this, a little accompaniment to a piano, and then the familiar melody starts. And I love that device. He uses that throughout, here and there throughout this album. One of the great things about this set and about Ella Fitzgerald as an interpreter is she recognizes these absurdities in the lyrics, but she doesn't highlight them. The way she handles an absurd lyric is kind of sail right through it with a little inflection and a little wink in the voice. It's like she's saying, I recognize this is silly, but I'm going to sing it straight. And it's a balancing act that she does perfectly. And that makes her perfectly suited for the American Songbook because, for instance, Gershwin has a lot of these type of things going on too. They all do. But hearing Cole Porter's lyrics was a joy, and I really got a deep appreciation of his wit, his charm, his sophistication. Ella too. I mean, Ella, of course, is the star of the show here as well, and her voice is recorded beautifully. It is mono sound, but it is true panoramic high fidelity. And what that means is it does have some dimension to it. These were really well recorded albums. And even though mono, you do sense a sense of dimension with her very clear and vibrant up front. Her presence is perfectly judged. She doesn't feel pushed forward. She is a bit forward. The arrangements fall behind her. It's a perfect balance. I wouldn't want any more presence on the voice. I wouldn't want any playing around with this. And, Matt Luthans, I think, has excellent taste when it comes to this type of thing. I've commented before on his approach to vocal recordings, and I'm thrilled that he's doing this series because there's no temptation to make it stand out in a different way. It's already excellent. So all he's got to do is present it in the best way possible, get the transfer off the tape through his tube equipment and get it to sound like it should, perhaps better than the original pressings, but not in a way that gooses it up, in other words. There's not extra presence on the voice. He's not bringing the arrangements forward. It feels like vintage, but the best aspects of the vintage sound. It has a tube-like warmth, which is great, and presence as well. If you have tubes in your system, you know what I'm talking about. Wonderful, wonderful reissue, equal to last year's Rodgers and Hart Songbook, and very, very highly recommended. The pressings were wonderful too. Quality Record Pressings did a wonderful job. They are quiet all the way through. They retain the original yellow and orange Verve label, which is nice. And overall, I got to say that this is a release. This is the kind of release that I want in my permanent collection. These are the type of recordings that I'm waiting for. I can't wait till they do the Gershwin Songbook. I have an original of the Gershwin Songbook here. Let me grab it for a second. This came in Harry Weisfeld's collection. But wouldn't it be nice if Acoustic Sounds for Jazz series did a box like this? I think that would be really nice. Chad, pay attention. No, just kidding. You're doing a wonderful job on this. I highly recommend this to anybody. This is a classic of the phonograph, and I'm so glad to have it now. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Let me know what you think about the Ella Songbooks. And until next time, I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.